Well, I love technical difficulties. Welcome
Oh,
y'all to
absolutely.
another filled episode of Wicked Weekend podcast with all of your favorite creators and of course one of your co-hosts of the evening, or for rather your host for the evening. It's Michael, co-founder of Wicked Publishing. I'm joined by Michael, one of our newest creators, part of Omen Comics. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty
We've
good. Glad to
got
be here.
Thank you. Yes, we got Matt Trin with us as well,
Hello, guys.
and of course the Reverend Ebi Canales.
Hola.
Yes, yes. Thank you all for joining us on this fine Wicked weekend here. We're here to update you all on our latest projects, tell about all the new stuff we got coming out, and of course, just chat and hang out and have a good time. So we're all here just chilling on this fine weekend. Thank you again, guys, for taking the time out to hang out with us here.
Our pleasure.
So yes, what's everyone up to? Any fun new developments since the last time we met? Any new projects you guys are working on? I know with me and you, Michael, we've had a lot of stuff going on the last couple of weeks. We've announced that Omen Comics was coming to Wicked Publishing.
Yeah.
And so that's been pretty exciting. We just put out the first 5 comics in digital yesterday, or the first 4 comics rather.
4, yeah.
Yes, first 4. And so we got Omen #1, Gallows Men #1. We've got White Druid and Michael Nero #1, as well as their first Revelation comic, which is a standalone story, and that's Blitz #1.
Woohoo.
And of course, we also have Steve with us. He just jumped in here. Welcome, Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
We were just chatting and letting everyone know about our recent developments here with Wicked Publishing and the digital comics.
Yeah, it looks like everything has been moving crazy fast the last few weeks, and I'm glad to see it.
Oh, definitely. Yes, it's been exciting to have you guys join us and to have you guys on the team. It's nice to finally talk to you as well and get you on the podcast here and introduce our readers to you. So, for those who don't know, of course, we've spoken with Michael before on some of our previous podcasts and shows. But like I said, for those who don't know, Michael's also joined by another creator with Omen Comics and Revelation Comics, which is Steve here. And so maybe you guys could talk a little about your duo together, how you guys work together as a team.
Why don't you start us off there, Steve? Tell us about Blitz.
Yes, Blitz. This was for me. I kind of like what Omen is for Mike, which has been my passion project for quite a number of years, wanting to get it on the ground, and it really was coming into the Omen fold after a while. That kind of got the ball rolling for it. I think that with Blitz, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different. Mike is really more into hardcore horror than I am. He's really more into it's kind of like the darker stuff than I am. I really had more of a passion to do my own superhero universe. Some of these characters actually started around, I want to say 2004. But really, like at the time, really, I don't think I felt like I was quite good enough to actually make it a reality. And it took the following 10 years at least to really get it to a point where I really could share this thing with everyone. And a lot of it has really come together from a lot of my own influences. I'm a big fan of like 80s, comics, particularly classic X-Men, New Mutants, and things of that nature. And also Daredevil, all these kinds of things that kind of have seeped into, the comics landscape at the time. And all of it kind of came together into these characters. Blitz, who is an impulsive speedster, who really is, I don't want to say exactly like, the first new hero who's been around after a long time, but functionally, that is what she becomes, whether she likes it or not. And because she is completely jumps into everything without thinking, she ends up becoming that without really intending to. And she's joined by her partner in crime, quite literally, Roland Travis, aka Night Spider, who is a reformed gentleman thief who has been hit by a magic curse and now is on a quest for redemption. And so neither of them is really suited to being a hero by themselves. She has all the passion and all of the idealism and none of the skills. He has all of the skills and the training and none of the morality. So so they're forced to work together essentially to try to make things better in the city, and neither of them exactly knows how to do it. So and of course there's a lot of secrets, a lot of mysteries. I really like intrigue. If you look at Druid and White Druid and Michael Nero, you're going to kind of see a certain amount of that. Everybody has secrets in that book, and so I kind of have put a little bit of that into Blitz as well, with a little bit of Astro City, because I had liked the fact that that series really built the setting of the superhero city and really kind of showed like a lot of dark secrets that are not apparent on the surface under this bright, shiny superhero front. And so that was really what I wanted to do with it, kind of dig, into setting as well, and setting his character, along with developing these two characters who have really, have a special place in my heart, about as much as a character like Nero, who I've really grown to enjoy writing as well.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a really cool combination there. It's kind of a fun one that we haven't really seen before.
Mhm.
And honestly, as Neostar says in the chat here, somebody say Speedster. You're definitely speaking his language here, man.
Oh yeah, I don't want to necessarily do things the way that DC does with the Flash.
Right.
I feel like they've really have covered like all of the exploration of powers and things like that. I really want to explore more of the effects on her as a character and as a personality, and having somebody who has this power that can do all these crazy things and not really know what to do with it. And so that's really kind of the approach that I'm taking.
Okay, well, that's nice. That's nice to hear you're taking a kind of a novel approach to it, trying to take it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you joined, you had this idea for the superhero universe. You kind of joined that in with Omen Comics and Revelation Comics, and that's kind of how your partnership really kind of came to be, sounds like.
Yeah, more or less. We really kind of started with Mike bringing me into Omen, because he was working on a review site called the Chico Comics page, and I was writing reviews at the time for that. And he kind of went to me and said, "Hey, how would you like to do this Omen Comics thing?" And at first I was like, "Okay, this sounds interesting. What have you got?" And he kind of gave me the whole overview of the Omenverse and all of these sorts of things. It took me a very long time to figure it out, because the stuff that he had was really, really detailed, more so than you can really process in a day or two. So it took me a time, to sort of figure it out. But once I did figure out what he was trying to do with it, and what he was trying to say with these characters, and with characters like Michael Nero and Luo Shi and all these other characters that I've been working with, I really have been enjoyed working with it. Because these are characters that really can go in a lot of different directions, and it also taps into some of the stuff I love as well.
And speaking of which, Blitz #1 is available. I think it's on Comixology as well. It's also on the Wikid Publishing website as of yesterday, so you can pick that up on the Wikid store or at Comixology, whichever you prefer there. And but yeah, you can go check that out and see what you think. And it's just one out right now, and more on the way, right? Is that going to be the idea?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of going along our usual schedule, as far as I can tell.
Very nice.
Everything's already currently in the works to get the next issue going,
Nice,
and I can't wait to get to it. I probably will be the first thing that I will get to, probably in terms of like main focus, once my current issues that I'm working on Guardians of Layham are done, and that's very
nice. Yeah, that should be an exciting one as well. We talked a little bit about, I think, on the Wikid creator interview with Mike, we talked a little about the Guardians of Elysium on that one.
Yeah, really looking forward to that title.
Yeah, that one's gonna be an awesome one.
Yeah, that particular book is one of those that is probably the most challenging of the books that I do, but it's also the most rewarding, because the amount of work you do in research and figuring things out and trying to make everything make sense and build a story around it really is one of those things that kind of pushes you to the next level, because it is such a challenging title to write.
True, yeah. Historical pieces usually are very much like that, research focus and whatnot. Yeah, definitely. Now, we also have other updates in the Wikid comic sphere. Matt Trin, obviously, you had your crowdfunder success not so long ago. And I know you guys have been hard at work getting that book created for all the backers. What can you tell us? Any updates or anything you can share with us at this time?
Right now, we've got about 18 pages left to do.
Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are times that we got delays from Travis getting sick with the flu.
Sorry to hear that.
But we're going to pull through, maybe about a couple weeks late on getting it
Okay.
all started.
Very nice, man. All in all, not so bad, is it?
Yeah. We're hopefully we get hopefully our biggest critic won't be so harsh with the depiction of Regina in it.
I wonder who that could be. Huh? Doesn't no one comes to mind.
Oh no, nobody at all.
But no, that's cool, man. That should be cool to get that out to the backers there.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about McKinnon Chronicles for those who missed Matt's campaign. Comic about a spacefaring captain on an expedition to root out some damn space pirates. Get off my lawn, you damn space pirates.
You're talking about space pirates, not space kids.
Yeah, really. Space kids, get off my damn space lawn.
Well, space pirates were space kids at some point in their lives.
It's true. Every space pirate was a space kid, man. That's a great thing to remember. We have to remember that. Oh, that's funny. But no, that's cool, man. That's good. I'm glad to hear the progress is coming along there. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And Ibai, what have you been up to in the comics realm?
Well, what have I not been up to? I'm working on 3 separate comics at the time, like your average European artist. I'm working on the Ace Volume 2 as we speak. You probably heard about Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
I can elaborate if you want.
Please do.
Yeah, it's probably a good place to plug it in. It's as we all know, it's we love the 90s, and it's like a homage to that sort of comics like Dark Hawk. Does anyone here remember the Dark Hawk?
Hell yeah.
Dark Hook?
Dark Hawk. Hawk. Yeah, I'm still working on my pronunciation.
No, I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, it's a Marvel character. It was created in the 90s. It's a story about this kid who runs into basically an alien spaceship that long story short, it turns him into the guardian of this of the ship and gives him like this alien armor that allows him to fly and makes him impervious to bullets, gives him super strength. It's like an alien Iron Man, so to speak. So yeah, it's similar to that. It's the story of this kid who runs into a device who turns the wearer into basically an alien walking tank. And every force in the universe, be it good or bad, is interested in like separating him from this armor and appropriating it. So it's action packed. It's just aliens shooting each other all the time and stuff blowing. The kind of stuff that we all love.
Yes, definitely. That's awesome, man. Is that a crowdfunder?
Yeah, it actually was a success. The first one did pretty well. So yeah. I always say that if I'm working off volume 2 of something, that means I'm doing well. I did well the first time.
Nice.
Yes, that's a good point, man. And then what's the other project you're working on? I know you mentioned you had another one.
Well, of course, that's ridiculous. The Abductables 2. After the sleeper hit that was the first part, this one is. I'm sure you guys remember that comic. It's basically.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's what happens when aliens abduct the wrong motherfucker. If I'm allowed to say motherfucker in this stream, I hope so.
Created by Michael Derrick, of course.
The great Michael Derrick, my abductor bro, as I like to call him.
That's funny. Yeah, no, that's great, man. That's cool. So that one's coming along well then.
I'm sorry, what?
That book is coming along pretty well.
Oh yeah, only I think I'm on page 45, so only 15 more pages left.
Damn, that's good, man.
Yeah, and this one is full color. Yeah, it's full color. So it's a grueling process because fun fact, I hate coloring. It just crushes my soul. Yeah, I don't like it one bit, but Michael Derrick seems to like it when I color it. So he told me, I'm gonna pay you more if you color this balloon. Okay. Okay.
More money? Okay, sure. I mean, I
Yes,
can't argue with that.
as I said, I'm a European artist. I'm basically a graphic prostitute. I will draw anything.
I will draw for money. That is literally.
We'll draw for food, basically.
Yes, essentially.
I
Yeah.
want a shirt that says that I'm a graphic prostitute.
Get on it, man. That's
But I'm a classy prostitute. I'm not the kind of artist that hangs out on the street at night in city
You're
bars.
a
No. I'm a classy. Everybody
you're a
meeting person.
you're a graphic escort.
Yeah, I'm a graphic
Proper
escort.
term.
I'm a high paying escort.
For the heart of gold.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hang out with movie producers and stuff.
Well, that's funny, man. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. You're always staying busy there. And I think did you finish work on Iron Sights too? Then I mean
Yeah, I actually finished part 2 and I'm working on part 3.
Part 3. That's right. Yes, part 3.
Mm-hmm.
And part 3, remind me again, is that going to be coming out next year? Then do you think?
Most likely because Zach hasn't even announced it yet. It's like he just shoots me a couple of pages every now and then. Like it's like this really side project that he has because he has like I don't know like 3-4 campaigns live.
I hope you're still pushing that Three Amigos a bit, man, because that sticks, man. That's a sticker.
I actually tried, and the subtitle of Iron Sights 3 is even more trollier than the one.
No!
Like, yeah, it's like
I can't wait.
You will see. He really likes taking the piece of the.
That's great, man.
Yeah, the readers.
Well, that'll be good. That's gonna be an exciting one.
This time it's got. He told me that you're gonna enjoy this one because it's got less shooting and more fighting. Which,
interesting. More John Wicky, huh?
Yeah,
it's that John Wick style.
Yeah, it's got like more. There's a character who's an MMA fighter, so there's like some dirty MMA thing going on.
Nice, I love that kind of shit, man.
Yeah, it's like I want to say Sicario meets Warrior,
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds cool, man. Yeah, that's a dope style, man. It's a nice mix.
And I'm actually enjoying it more than I enjoy the others because I'm sure my fellow artists here can tell you that it's funnier, it's funner, more fun to draw someone throwing a punch than he's shooting. Because of the whole dynamic thing.
Just more motion, more totally.
Like just someone holding a gun it's fine, but drawing someone throwing a punch and beating the crap out of somebody else, that's much more entertaining to do.
Doesn't it depend a little bit on what they're shooting with? Like,
how do you mean?
I mean,
like if they have like a laser gun or something,
a really cool like alien gun or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Vaporize somebody. Wouldn't that be pretty cool?
That is also true. Like since this one, when Zach first approached me to draw Iron Suns 1, I told him, "Hey, can I draw this like Death Blow? You guys remember Death Blow?"
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Can I make it like okay? It's like a serious dramatic story, but can I make it like slightly over the top with like super guns and stuff and like really muscle dudes?" And they go like, nah, keep it grounded. This is supposed to be like a proper border thriller. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll tone it down. It's getting pulpier by the volume. This one is like it's getting great. More and more like a Robert Rodriguez film or something like that. So
that's the Fast and Furious effect, man. You got to escalate every
absolutely. Time. That's where it's going. Like it started like something serious, like a thriller, and it's getting completely over the top as the saga progresses.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun to see, man. I'm sure people will be very excited for that one.
Yeah. I'm keeping myself busy, so that's good news. I think I'm gonna be working at least until Christmas. So
nice, man. Yeah, I've been keeping pretty busy myself. We're finishing up the final issue of Barrels right now. I just got the lettering back from it, and so that should be cool. It's a great issue. It's the longest one we've done, so it's 36 pages. So it's definitely the longest we've done so far. But Jeff just nailed the ending, man. Killed it, man.
Nice.
I noticed that an ending can really make or break a story. I mean, like if you got a really good ending, it can like any mistakes you made in the first or second act can be forgiven, right? But
if you can stick that landing,
it could totally ruin a great movie. So I mean, nailing an ending in a comic is really key. I like that.
That's really interesting. I hadn't thought of that. I'm gonna remember that one, but you're totally right. It really is. It is totally key. And thank God, I feel like this is the first comic I've ever finished to the completion. You know, I've started three comics at this point, and this is the actually first one I've actually finished the whole story. It feels really good to have finished it, man. I don't know.
Right.
I don't. It's weird. It's like, oh, it's very satisfying, I guess you could say.
No, it's a great feeling when you know
Mhm.
that you finish something, and when it goes to the printer and you hold it in your hands for the first time, and you
Yeah.
realize, wow, I'm actually a comic book creator, like legit. You know, that's a great
Yeah.
feeling.
It really
Yeah, it's
is,
very
man.
cathartic, I would say.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
just
dude.
because
Absolutely.
you know that the thing is finally behind you, it's done, it's going out
Yeah.
to the world, and this is a thing that is really happening. And that's just one of those things that just energizes you, wants to make you do more.
Right? It's like an addiction, man. You just gotta keep going and do
Mhm.
more.
It's totally addicting. Every time I publish another book, I just want to publish. It's all about, okay, now I'm on to the next one. I'm on to the next one. It's all about that next book.
It's like that Rorschach line. He's like, "Why do we do this? It's because we're compelled to do it."
Nothing ends. Nothing ever
Right?
ends.
Yep.
Nothing's ever truly gone.
That's funny. But yeah, no. It's very true. It's very true, man. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we all keep. I mean, I can't speak for all of us necessarily, but I would think that's probably why most of us keep doing comics is for that reason.
Mhm.
You know,
It's your joy of creating. That's really what it
Mhm.
comes down to.
It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but it is definitely super rewarding.
It's not even the most like the thing that will give you most money,
Yeah.
but it's something that you do out of love, and
Mhm.
it shows. You know, whether if you're talented or not, or you're learning or whatever. Because I've been there. I've been a crappy artist before, but you know, if you put some love into the project, it shows.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true, man. Yeah.
I noticed that with really with storytelling in general, that the more of you that is in it, the better. And what I mean by, like, for instance, when I'm writing something that's really scary, I don't go for what I imagine the reader might find terrifying. I write what I find terrifying.
Stephen King has said he does the same thing.
Really?
Like he said that, yeah, he says everything scares me. You know, and he puts that in the book.
Absolutely, that's why he's so good at describing fear, because he feels it.
That's smart, man. Yeah. Right? Oh, that's so good. Because if it scares you, there's chances are there's other people who have that same fear.
Mhm.
Right, and I think that emotion that you're feeling, like he was just talking about, with that, when you have that passion, that when you're feeling that strong
Mhm.
emotion, I think it comes across in your story.
I can see it. Yeah. Because you're feeling that emotion that you want the reader or the viewer to ultimately experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just doing it as a paint by numbers kind of thing. Where
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
just wanna share your misery with others.
hey man, that's I guess that works too if that's what you're going for.
It's like being a serial killer, really.
It's a sick pleasure,
Mhm.
really.
I love my characters, so I cause them pain.
Oh no, oh, that's too funny. That's a hard one, honestly. Yeah, it's like being a jerk to your some of your like favorite characters is really hard to do. I was like, dude, I can't. I don't want to be so mean to him though. Damn, don't want to do that. Oh shit.
But sometimes you got to for the sake of drama,
Yeah,
because
that's
if
true.
if they have it too easy, it gets boring. So.
It's very true. Yeah, that's always something that I try to remember when writing is to remember to not have everything always go exactly as planned. Like if everything just goes right every time, it's like you said, it gets kind of boring. Like there has to be
Mhm.
that tension. There has to be that moment where things aren't going quite as planned. Otherwise, it doesn't. That you can't. It's hard to build that tension. Otherwise,
Yeah. I mean, just look at Spider-Man. Like everything goes wrong for him, but we relate to the struggles that he goes through. Going through these things, and that's where the drama comes from.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Spider-Man's a great example. I feel like he's a very well done character in terms of relatability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think someone said that the hero is only as interesting as the hurdles he overcomes. As the obstacles he overcomes. So
Yeah, often
That's true.
embodied through villains.
Yeah, that's true, but not always. I guess you can't. I always think of it like if the hero's only as good as the villain, but I guess it can be kind of extended more to that. Like it's the antagonist, whether that be the internal or the external, the environment or the
it's basically
bad
the
guy.
struggle, the size, the scale of the struggle. What makes it interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. We're really breaking down the hero here on this Wikid podcast.
Yeah, free writing classes, guys. Take notes.
Learn from the best. We did do a workshop, a writer's workshop, not too long ago. People can check that out. It's on our YouTube channel. We did like a little beginner's workshop.
Nice.
That that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. I had a bunch of different people on there. But yeah. Any anime fans in the chat here in the group? Or
A little bit. I don't know. I'm kind of an old taku. Like I like the stuff. I like stuff like Ninja Scroll and like Cowboy Bebop,
like the classics, right?
Yeah, those kinds of things. But I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like hardcore into it and I know every little thing. No, not really.
I just watched the new
Robotech. Does that count?
Robotech. Yeah, that's good. You and Matt Trin here would have a lot to talk about. Let me tell you. Yeah, you're speaking his language right there, man. But I just watched the new Evangelion movie that just came on Amazon yesterday. I don't know if we got any fans or anyone curious about it.
I'm curious about it. I haven't really gone far enough to really watch it, but I am interested in how it turns out.
I think it's worth it. It's worth the watch. It was to me it was a very satisfying ending and a surprisingly satisfying ending. I didn't really expect much going into it, but I was quite pleased with it. So
that's good
for what that's worth. Yeah, but yeah, I'm like you. I'm kind of in the mix. Like I'm pretty into anime, but I'm like I don't watch everything every season,
Mm-hmm.
But I dig me some good anime, every now and then.
Yeah, I like it when it gets really crazy,
Yeah.
So the thing of it is that the stylistic differences often like explore kinds of storytelling that you don't see in conventional Western things, and the differences always are interesting to look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and visually, it's like there's like almost no Western animation company that can even come close to like what they're doing in Japan with the animation right now. Like it's just nuts what they can do with both hand drawn and 3D animation in Japan.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe I don't know. There's not that. I guess there's just not a lot coming out on the American side, like aimed at an adult audience. I guess you could say.
Actually, most of the cartoons I watch are by Warner Brothers Animation, and
they do pretty good stuff, though. I will say that. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you watch like Constantine's.
Yeah.
That's straight up animation horror right there.
That's true. The DC that I will agree with you that the DC stuff that like the DC movies they've been putting out for the last 4 or 5 years or whatever, they've all been really good, like good animation quality and stuff, and good stories and good at voice acting. So yeah, you're right. It's not dead totally.
I actually like the animated movies much better than the live action movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree, man. Yeah.
I am looking forward to Superman the Animated Series Blu-ray.
Is that like the classic?
Yeah, that's a 90s series. They're putting it out on Blu-ray like they did with Batman.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's bro, Lobo was in it.
What's that?
Lobo was in it. That's
yes, he was. Yeah. Mitsapliklik with Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh wow, jeez, I bet that's dope. That sounds really funny, man. Yeah, that's the one that connects with like the Batman animated universe and the Justice League stuff, right?
Yeah. It was the precursor to Justice League.
Okay, yeah, those are classics for sure.
You know what's great actually is the Justice League Unlimited series. How that actually ties. That series seems to tie together the movies and like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, the movie. It seems to tie together all of those.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, they haven't done something quite like that in since then. The movies, I know all the movies connect, but other than that, they haven't been like trying to bring any new series out. It'd be interesting to see if they did something like that again. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. The live action movies aren't quite there yet. I did see the new Suicide Squad though. I mean, did anyone see that one?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I saw that one. Yeah, it was pretty good. I will say, much better than the original one that was made by Air.
It's basically a James Gunn movie. You know
Yeah.
what he's going for.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
true.
got that gun humor. I mean, you can sort of tell that he's getting a little bit more self-indulgent. At least he feels like he's free to do that. And there are some like music video moments, but I mean, I like a lot of what he did, and there's a lot of respect given to Ostrander and Yale, which I really like to see. What they're about is there. I mean, Amanda Waller is as bad as she's ever been in this one. I mean,
Yeah.
they've just done so much right. Yeah.
She was crazy, yeah. But yeah, no, it was a good movie. I definitely highly recommend people check that out. And to me, it's like James Gunn, because I'm so used to James Gunn from Marvel, but it's like this is like the R-rated version of James Gunn, taken to the next level.
It's Gunn with the brakes off.
Yep. Which I appreciated that.
Yeah.
What Suicide Squad made me think of is that I'm really starting to prefer the R-rated superhero movies.
Interesting. Yeah, I actually think I was talking to one of my other friends about it. I think DC needs to make that their signature style. Like, I think that's what's going to set it apart from Marvel, to be honest.
I think comics themselves, especially in DC, have been R-rated for a while now because I don't know what's that the one with the Black Lanterns with the zombies and all that.
Blackest Night.
Yeah, Darkest Night. That crap was really really freaky.
Yeah.
It had like really disturbing moments.
I'm not an expert, but I got to say the crown pinnacle has got to be Joker cutting off his face and hanging it on a wall.
Exactly. That's the kind of crap that
Pure horror, yeah.
Oh shit.
That'll
do it, man.
With Scott Snyder, Batman comics were straight up horror comics.
Yeah.
Dude, Scott Snyder is like a really good writer. I really appreciate what he did with that series and just all his books. I think I can't recommend enough his series American Vampire. I think it's just one of the best horror series of all time. Like, it started out, he co-wrote with Stephen King, and they wrote the first volume together, and then from there he took on as the main writer. But it's like classic Vertigo. Like, it was one of the last titles from Vertigo, but it really feels like that old school Vertigo style.
Yeah, I feel like old school Vertigo really is kind of faded away since Karen Berger left. Because I feel like she was the heart and soul of that line. But I mean, really, Vertigo is that kind of stuff. It's stuff like Preacher. It's stuff like Sandman, Hellblazer. Those are the kinds of things that they should be embracing. I feel like not enough people know what that is and how that works. Snyder's one of those people I feel like who does. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think you're right there. Hopefully they can reintroduce it to the Black Label to a new generation there.
Yeah, Black Label I think is probably the closest they have to a proper Vertigo sensibility.
Speaking of Black Label, did you guys think that was what I got the impression that's what Joker was a Black Label movie?
Yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it seems to be like that's where it's like out of continuity. It's where you have more experimental takes on classic characters, and you can really kind of go hard R with it.
Yeah,
I'm totally down with the idea of DC Comics using the movies as Vertigo, like making more experimental, mature takes on their characters.
I mean, even the Snyder Cut was rated R, and you got Birds of Prey rated R, and so they've been having a good track record with rated R titles lately.
Except for Birds of Prey.
You didn't like that one?
Oh, Birds of Prey was horrible.
Oh, really? I enjoyed it.
I wasn't a fan of that one either.
Fair enough. Didn't care for Black Mask?
No, actually, the thing that really ate at me about Birds of Prey was the choreography. You got like 110-pound Harley Quinn does a little leg sweep and knocks over 3 giant men. That kind of stuff was The choreography was much better in the Suicide Squad, I thought.
I just missed the classic Birds of Prey, the one from the comics. The movie version didn't get anywhere near that, and then they ruined Cassandra Cain on top of that, and I hate that because I love that.
Is Cassandra Cain a character in the comics? Because in the movie she didn't really do a lot.
No, she's awesome in the comic.
Yeah,
She was the
like,
second Batgirl.
Yeah, she's actually like
she is like she's the daughter of Lady Shiva. If that gives you an idea of what she is.
Yeah.
So she's so she's basically somebody who was trained to be an assassin to the point where she is unable to speak. She was trained to read movements. And so she can read body language like with the best of them, and that makes her a better fighter. She is actually, I would say, if not the best fighter in the DC universe, short of guys like Karate Kid, she's in the upper echelon with Lady Shiva and Richard Dragon and those kinds of characters.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So they definitely didn't do her character justice then, did they?
No, not even close.
Yikes. I also heard people didn't necessarily like the take on the Huntress, that character.
Huntress was probably the least awful to me.
Which is saying a lot,
Yeah.
So that's fair. Yeah, they kind of have DC movies have a spotty track record for sure.
Yeah. Some of them are really amazing. I mean, Suicide Squad, I think they really got it. I think the Snyder cut, Mike and I kind of tended to kind of go a little bit back and forth on Snyder, but I really kind of felt like the Snyder cut at the very least got a lot right. Even if I kind of felt like some things were a little bit off. I feel like they got Superman probably best in that one. I really dug Cyborg, and I dug at least I thought that their version of Barry Allen in this film was better than the Whedon cut. So there's definitely points where you can definitely say that they've done good stuff in at least some of them. And then in others, they just go a little bit too far, completely miss the point of the character, and they just kind of crash and burn.
Oh man, that's a tricky one, isn't it, to get right? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act. It always is.
Especially if you don't really like the base characters, like some directors happen to do. You can tell they don't really like the comics they're adapting.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help.
Zack Snyder said that he actually didn't want to make a Superman movie. He was only making it for the money.
Really?
Well, at least he's honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's something.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. It's definitely a take. It's it might not be the take everyone would have wanted, but it is a take.
I actually like. You guys seen the movie Brightburn?
Brightburn.
Yeah, that's
I
like
meant
the
to watch
horror
that one.
derby version.
Yeah,
of
it's basically evil Superman.
Yeah, I meant to watch that one.
I really liked it because if you're going to do like an evil Superman, just embrace it. Like, okay, I don't like Superman, but I like the idea of someone like with the powers of Superman turning out evil or dark or whatever. So okay, let's do it.
Yeah, and if it's done with an analog character, I don't have a problem with it. One of the books that I really enjoyed from way back was Irredeemable, which is basically what happens when Superman can't handle the emotional baggage that comes with having like super senses, can hear all the criticism, and he just doesn't have the emotional maturity to handle it, and he just loses his mind and goes bad. And that's like the starting point. Like he visions babies, and he just does really, really horrible stuff. But at the same time, there's a reverence for the character of Superman, even if it goes really dark with it. And I think, and if it's done with an analog character, it can be very, very good.
Now, because didn't they kind of do something similar to what Snyder did with Superman in the Injustice games, kind of doing like an evil Superman storyline?
Yeah, kind of.
More or less like that.
Now, did you think they did a better? I mean, if you're familiar, did you think they did a better job in that one, maybe? Because it didn't sound like you were a fan of the kind of like evil Superman in the movies.
I don't know that version well enough to tell you. I'm not. I've kind of gotten tired of the trope, to be honest. I mean, that's not to say that there can't be good ones, that come out from time to time. I just think that DC needs to start thinking outside of that box, and starts embracing, I think, the classic stuff, the Donner stuff, a little bit more. Because I feel like a character played straight can still make a great movie.
True. I think you're right. I mean, I think there's a reason that character's lasted so long because the basics of it work so well as an inspirational character and an aspirational character.
And
I
don't get why people say that Superman isn't an interesting character just because he isn't dark. I think that's actually what makes him interesting. Like
yes.
things get darker and more realistic and bloodier and grittier, but he still maintains his optimism and his that purity of soul. That's an interesting character, like the last truly good pure superhero in a world of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, it doesn't need more than that to be interesting.
Yeah, he's just a guy who wants to help. That's it.
Yeah.
He wants to get back to the planet that adopted him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny.
You can tell a lot about someone by how they treat people that they don't have to treat well. And I think it says a lot about Superman by how he views humanity when he doesn't have to treat them that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. It's this. I read this great quote because I just watched the Into the Spider-Verse thing, and they had a great quote from Stan Lee at the end that essentially says something like that: those who choose to help simply because it's simply because it should be done or must be done, and because it's the right thing to do, are without a doubt true superheroes. And I was like, oh yeah, that's so true. That's what a superhero is. That you strip all the powers away. That's what a superhero is. Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting, man.
Yeah, Stan Lee really had a good idea of that. He understood with whatever difficulties a hero might have or that they might struggle with. He understood what a real hero was, and he kept that at the core of his characters.
Yeah, I love that, man. It's so cool. As a fellow comic creator, definitely is inspirational for sure.
I think Stan Lee embodies what we aim for as writers and creators.
Totally, 100%. Yeah, I agree. But as Neostar says here in the chat, you know how the mainstream media feels about aspirational superheroes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, we live in an age of nihilism and it's sad because I've seen this happen in Europe before. Like it's happening now in the US. It's like the virus that destroyed Europe is now infecting you guys. But as far as I can remember, we really never liked superheroes all that much in Europe. Like we always liked the anti-heroes like Lobo, the Punisher, because we could understand them because they're assholes. Down, they do things out of spite or revenge or whatever. We don't understand that doing the right thing mentality.
One interesting thing that you may want to check out is Morrison's Superman and the Authority, because it seems like he's having a discussion with himself about these very things through Superman and Manchester Black. It's really, really fascinating stuff.
I remember the original story. I think it was written by Joe Casey, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Is it based on another work then?
Maybe it was influenced by that. No, this is recent.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. No, I think because the Authority thing is like he's got that new symbol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's not wearing like the usual conventional costume, and he looks a little bit older, but it's basically kind of like the same thing. But I mean, you can sort of tell that it has that Morrison embracing of the aspirational Superman. It's just that he's using that to really come into conflict, with sort of modern day views of superheroes from the more nihilistic side of things. And I think when you have different points of view in conflict, you really get great stories.
Yeah. No, that's very true, man. Very true. But yeah, that's our breakdown on superheroes for this weekend. Hope you've enjoyed your seminar. Please pay on your way out. $5 at the door.
Tip your waitress.
Yes, please. They live off these tips. They need them. But yeah, I mean, what you guys been? Have you guys been reading anything lately? Any comics? Been anything catching your eye?
I've been trying to get caught up on my DC. I'm actually a few years behind. I'm just now getting to Rebirth.
Oh no, man! You got ways to go.
Yeah. So, like I recently read Superman, Lois and Clark, and the Final Days of Superman.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
reading Titans Hunt right now.
I've been kind of getting back into the Flash a little bit lately. Some of the late Jeff Johns stuff with Barry Allen that I hadn't read previously. Some of the early Manipul, Bucelato, New 52 Flash. That sort of era. I want to kind of go back and sort of revisit Josh Williamson a little bit more eventually, because I'm way behind on that actually.
I've been actually dipping my toes into DC with Deceased. I don't know if you guys ever read any of those Deceased books, man. It's basically take zombies and DC universe and throw them together. Because like I'm a zombie guy.
Aware of them. The DC
good,
version
dude.
of Marvel Zombies, as I recall.
It's dark, bro. It is so dark. It has got to be one of the darkest take on the DC universe I've ever seen. It's crazy. It's darker than the damn Snyderverse.
That is saying something.
Yeah, dude, but it's really well done.
You need to read with a flashlight then.
Pretty much. Like it's fun too because it's giving me a good overview of like the entire DC universe because I never really read DC comics or Marvel comics growing up, so I'm new to it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just started getting into it with the Future State stuff they did last year or earlier this year, I guess. And
some of those books are pretty good. I like what they're starting to do with Infinite Frontier. At least some of it. I think Nightwing is really good. I think Flash is really good. So I'm interested in some of the stuff that they're doing with the super books and things like that. The only sort of issue is they seem to really want to throw Batman at you every single time.
There's a lot of Batman to read. Yeah,
but some of the other books are interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. Hey, did you ever get into DC, Ibai?
I was always more of a Marvel guy,
really?
and only because Marvel published the Transformers comics that I read as a kid. Only because of that. And the thing is, since Marvel had this policy that every comic was meant to happen in the same universe, at least at the beginning, the fact that Spider-Man would appear like every now and then in Transformers drove me the rest of the superhero universe. But I was always more. I was never a huge superhero guy. I was always like a horror, science fiction, thriller type of guy. But I always liked Batman, probably because he's the only true horror superhero that is out there, which is why I like the Scott Snyder take, because his enemies, for a regular guy, they're terrifying. Like imagine facing Killer Croc, a 250-pound human alligator that wants to eat you. Like that's terrifying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's got that kind of no, I don't know, like I guess that edge to him, right? It kind of makes him more grounded and a little more sci-fi, a little closer to these other genres that you probably were, interested in.
If you remove like the whole costume angle, it's basically a guy fighting monsters in a gothic metropolis, which is pretty badass.
And not only monsters, but like criminals and gangs and
psychopathic clown,
gangsters
and whatnot. And it's pretty bad.
It's like a crime thriller wrapped up in a superhero dressing.
That's why I always like Batman. Yeah.
Totally,
Batman seems to fight psychopaths almost exclusively. Like a lot of people have crazy people in their rogues gallery, but it's almost like finding somebody who's not a total nut job is a rarity within the Batman universe.
Yeah, you pretty much have to look to Penguin, Bane, and those kinds of characters.
Yeah, it's like Gotham has a disproportionately high number of psychopaths living in the city for some reason.
Yeah.
I like the take. I don't know if it was Grant Morrison who postulated that Gotham was like a techno magical city that was built around Arkham Asylum, and it was like built to feed Arkham Asylum, so it somehow created crazy people.
I don't know, but that sounds like a Morrison idea.
Did you see? I want to say it was in Stormwatch. where the god of cities was talking to the spirit of Gotham, and it was this little demon guy.
No, but I'm not
That
surprised.
does sound like Jack Hawksmoor, but I don't know.
Yeah, he was this little like demon imp. Like all the other ones, they were like fairly attractive, like regular human-looking people, except for Gotham. This little.
Oh, are you thinking of New 52 Stormwatch?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, yeah, because I was originally thinking like the Warren Ellis stuff. I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right.
No, this was New 52.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, that vaguely sounds familiar.
Huh. Well, yeah, that's a lot of good stuff out there to read. That's for sure. Too much to read. Never enough time.
Yep.
Too many comics, too little time.
Exactly. And of course, when we're trying to make our own comics, that doesn't help.
Although it is grist for the mill, so I don't mind.
No, that's actually what sucks about being a comic book creator is the fact that you barely have any time to read them anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I try to like get a little bit of reading time in, if I can every day, just but it's not always easy.
Is this? Do the rest of you guys do this? When I read comics, by the time I've read an issue or two, I want to write comics.
That sometimes happens.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm reading comics, I'll be like, "Oh, I want to just give me an idea for my own comic, or I want to do something like this, or."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I force myself to stop working every now and then and read comics just to recharge my batteries.
Yeah, for me, it's video games. At least when I have time to play them.
What kind of games are you into?
Mainly like RPGs, but I have been getting a little bit back into Red Dead Redemption 2 lately.
Nice. Like Red Dead Online or mostly the single player?
Just a single player.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I gotta finish that game.
Online stuff going now.
Yeah, games are fun. I actually just got Scott, our creator Scott, finally convinced me to get the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
It is. I'm surprised I didn't get it sooner. It is incredible. I got it for $1 for the first month, so I was like, "This is an incredible deal."
Yeah.
And there's so much.
I think the last thing I finished before that was the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It is awesome.
You enjoy going back to it, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a classic story. I mean, if you want to see like sci-fi storytelling at its best in the video game format, that's pretty much the best you can get. The only problem is that it doesn't stick the landing in the third game. But
that's what I heard. I ought to finish it at some point. I played the first two and part of the third one, but never finished it for some reason.
Yeah,
they're better about I think actually.
Yeah, we talked about that, I think, in one of our podcasts, me and Mike, a little bit, mainly in the bit about you have to keep your promises as a storyteller. And that one didn't.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Unfortunately, I think it's because they changed lead writers in between Mass Effect 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Shows.
Yeah, and Mass Effect 2 is a
so
masterpiece.
Good. Yeah.
It is such a brilliant game. And it just seems like they were trying to promise that the third game would have consequences and that your actions would basically lead to different consequences and that you would shape the face of the galaxy. And instead, what you end up getting is like a color-coded ending that doesn't seem to change very much at all.
They wanted a new meme.
What's that?
They wanted a new meme.
A new meme. My God, it's a new meme. One to save the planet and the whole universe. A meme to rule them all. My God.
I'm a huge Tolkien fan. You can go ahead and make any of those references you want.
You're like, you have my permission here. All good. Yeah, I guess then you must be excited for the new Lord of the Rings show coming out.
Oh, I am. I'm dying to see this Second Age stuff in live action.
It's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be the biggest budget TV show of all time, from what I've seen.
What's crazy is how I mean, imagine how good a show has to be where they're in the middle of making the first season and they sign on for a second one.
Yeah, that's pretty damn promising. That's for sure.
Yeah.
it's interesting to note they switched for season 2. They've switched from filming in New Zealand to the UK.
Oh, that's not gonna be good.
I don't know why. It's a weird choice.
No, it's basically because New Zealand is basically a fortress now due to COVID. Like nobody can go in and out. Yeah. Like they have like really low cases, but in exchange,
I gotcha. Okay, so it's probably a lot more difficult to even be able to film there now, I would imagine.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Which is too bad. Well, hopefully they can make it make it work for second season. I'm sure that means they'll probably be filming a lot more sets. But London has some nice greenery. When you get in the country, from what I understand, so I'm sure they can make it work.
Maybe reuse scenes.
Yeah, you could reuse some of the background scenes, for location setup and whatnot, and yeah, that'll be really cool to see. That should be really interesting. Amazon is putting that one out.
Amazon's been doing better with shows than Netflix.
Yeah. Invincible was really good, so
I still haven't seen Invincible.
It's pretty. I would say it's not like exactly the comic, but it basically captures the spirit of the comic, a lot of the details, and where they change them. They change them thoughtfully. It's not one of those things where we're changing this, just to appeal to X demographic or whatever. No. They're doing it with a story purpose, and I think it's to a certain extent like it's Kirkman addressing things that didn't work the first time around when he did it as a comic and trying to basically make the show better. So it's for the most part, it's been those kinds of changes.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds pretty. Everything I've heard of it, people say it's pretty good, so I'll check it out.
We actually get to know who the Guardians of the Globe are, which I think was one of the few oversights he made in the original comic.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. So you've read the comic then?
I've read a good chunk of it, about a little over half of it, but I mean it's enough to kind of get a sense of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. Yeah, he's a good writer. I enjoy his comics. I've not specifically read that one, but I've read Outcast and Oblivion Song.
I look at Kirkman as kind of like one of the creators to aspire to, because he's one of the few guys that went indie and basically succeeded on his own merits, and that's what I think we're all trying to do.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. He started off with a really modest black and white comic, and then from there, he's gone so far. And with Image and whatnot, so yeah, it is pretty impressive.
He's true to he's been true to his vision, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Did you hear about any Willow fans here?
Willow fans.
Willow
Smith.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I probably am the only one here who actually read the Shadow Moon books that were set after the movie.
Well, I'm asking because Amazon is doing him and Ron Howard and George Lucas. We're going to do a series about Laura Dannon as an adult.
Yeah. So this is basically another take. I guess they're going to ignore the Shadow Moon books because that's what they were doing.
Shadow Moon?
Yeah. George Lucas had basically approached Chris Claremont to do a bunch of novels. There are 3 of them: Shadow Moon, Shadow Sun, and I forget what the third one was. But yeah, there was it doesn't have Mad Mardigan or Saoirse in it, but it really focuses more on Laura Dannon and Willow, who is calling himself Thorm Drumheller for some reason. I forget why.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm very lost.
It is. I think a lot of people got confused, so they probably decided to ignore it. But
is this a movie or something?
The ones I'm thinking about are novels, but there's going to be a movie, I think.
And the novels are called what again?
There was originally a movie called Willow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think we all agree that George Lucas should stop doing sequels and leave it the way it is. Don't touch anything, please.
When he tries to go back, I mean, he's got big ideas, but he tends to overthink them.
Who's in that movie? Is it anyone I would know?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Oh, really?
Yeah, Willow is basically Lord of the Rings with smaller budget.
Oh, really?
With a single movie.
Willow is kind of
like
the Hobbit, basically. Yeah. I think they've been trying to do like a Lord of the Rings, similar story to that, but they've never quite worked all the details. Let's just put it that way.
It's a little bit different though. Like the Lord of the Rings was in a lot of ways based on like Norse mythology, whereas Willow is based on Celtic mythology.
Yeah. People have like Celtic names and Celtic armors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming out Disney Plus next year.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was
$30 on Premier Access.
Yeah. That is just ridiculous to ask for a subscription plus $30 to watch a movie.
They did this in Black Widow, by the way.
They don't care. They don't care about that. Like I was just telling someone else that like they just launched this new Spider-Man ride at Disneyland, and you can buy this. They're $30. You can buy this thing like that'll like swing webs that you can use in the ride to shoot stuff down. But not only do they make you buy the thing, but then they make you pay another additional $30 to just use it in the ride. And so they're penny pinchers for sure, man. That's how they get
this thing, and then you got to pay extra to use it.
That's right. Oh, you wanted to use that? Pay up first.
Our movie sold. See, yeah. You're making all this money because you've been, overcharging to make people see the movie.
Yeah.
Money.
And then now Scarlett Johansson's suing them for kind of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess in one aspect, I do get that. Whereas when people are going to the theater, you got individuals paying for tickets to see a movie. Whereas if people are watching it at home, you could have 20 people over there watching for the price of one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a tough argument either way, because I can kind of see that point. Yeah. So, but then I guess if you have at least 3 people, it's worth it. But if you're just seeing it by yourself, then it's a little bit like, it's a little expensive there. Or if you're seeing like one other person, you and yourself, it's like, maybe. But yeah, the whole landscape is just super weird right now for movies.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, most of them suck, in my opinion.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm actually interested in that movie featuring Gina Carano that they're talking about. Like, I really want to see that.
What's she in? Oh, the one that's being produced for that one like specific network.
Yeah, it's actually. I mean, I was wondering what are they going to do with Gina, and turns out Eric Red is gonna be writing it. And I don't know if you guys remember this movie called The Hitcher with Rutger Hauer from the 80s. Yeah, it's a great freaking movie, man. I love it. So it's actually the writer of that movie. Like, he hasn't done like anything worthwhile in anything of note in a few years, and turns out he's gonna be writing the story. So I'm actually interested in that.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be like a horror road thriller, like The Hitcher. So yeah, I want to see that now.
I'll check that out, man. I wonder if they'll release it on Amazon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I guess you have to well, we'll see. We'll see how they do the release, how they handle that. But interesting. Yeah, I heard. I guess she's not coming back on her Disney show, huh?
I guess not.
That's too bad. It's weird. It's like y'all forgave James Gunn. What happened to that forgiveness?
Well, we just reminded of it with this new lawsuit going on.
Yeah. They can be kind of shady. It's like South Park predicted all those years ago with the whole China thing and Mickey Mouse and whatnot.
Yep.
I mean, come on. They're an evil mega corporation. Like, we all know about cyberpunk lore, okay? It was to expect it.
Well, you know what's scary? You know what's scary about that, man? Is that now that games like Cyberpunk have come out, people want that feature. Now we're like, oh, we want to be in a Cyberpunk feature.
No, we don't.
No, we really don't.
We
might want the technology, but not the corporate.
Exactly, system. Man. It's like, you open your eyes, you fools.
I mean, I'm down for like some augmentation and like cybernetic implants that will make me super strong and shit. But I can do without the whole corporate autocratic socialism.
Sorry, man. They come hand in hand.
Yeah, I guess so.
So much for those flying cars.
Yeah, really. But I feel like people like Elon Musk are like the kind of people who try and bring those kind of features to the forefront.
Yeah.
But for good or for bad.
You can tell the guy's a huge nerd and he just wants to see his favorite movies make a reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is pretty good.
At the same time, he warns about the dangers of letting technology take over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a little bit of that. I guess he's particularly worried about AI. In that, like if we make machines that are smarter than us, who's to say they won't just take over?
I mean, I guess he has a point, but I really don't like a brain implant. Thank you very much.
You said you would really like one?
No, I was talking about like cyber arms and cyber legs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Don't touch my brain. I'm really not.
But
I mean,
did you see the pig? It was harmless,
right?
man. He got it removed and he was fine.
I mean, I'm sure if you guys,
no, thank you.
If you guys have read the kind of stuff that I write, you will understand why I say it.
If you believe what Elon Musk says, he believes that's the only way to keep machines from taking over is to essentially assimilate with them, to give ourselves the power and the processing power of computers so that we can compete on the same level as a computer. I think is essentially the ultimate goal.
It's not a bad idea, but if that implies having Twitter in my brain, I don't want it. Like, imagine having to abide by Google's terms and services just to think. No.
Oh man, you've been banned from thinking about this one thing, and so like anytime you try to think of it, like your brain doesn't let you think of it. It's like,
Yeah,
God dang it, what was that thing I could? God.
We'd probably have some new laws drafted up for that kind of thing.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Cyber laws. Oh man. Yeah, we joke, but it's like that could really be a thing in the next 15, 20 years. So.
Yep.
But yeah. So, do you guys want to go for another 10 minutes or so and start wrapping up on the podcast?
All right.
Sure.
What do you guys got going? Yeah, what do you guys got going on?
I do have places to be, but 10 minutes is okay.
Okay, yeah. What you guys got going on for the rest of the day?
Well, for me, it's kind of late, and I have dinner.
Oh shit!
I got my family waiting for me. So.
Yeah, I'm spoiled here on me and Michael both are spoiled here on the West Coast. We got that sweet Pacific time, always earlier than everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the draw side is that you live in California.
Whatever. Salty. I'm gonna go be salty in the corner now. Man, but Ebai's got the worst of all. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning for you, isn't it, Ebai?
It's actually 2:20 in the morning. But all my best friends are living in the U.S. right now, so I'm used to this crazy schedule. So
that's funny, dude. Yeah, that's true. Because you even just doing your comics work, don't you mostly work with people in the United States?
No, actually, exclusively with people in the United States, because I don't want to work with other Spaniards. Let me tell you, I don't want to go back to that.
Don't put that kind of energy into the room. That's not good, man. That's like putting Sean Hobbs in one room, man. You don't do that. Hobbs. Sorry, Hobbs and Vin Diesel. Dom and Hobbs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it's like putting those two, like putting Vin Diesel in the rock in a room. It's not good. It's not good for the chemistry, man.
But it's good for the box office, though. I actually enjoyed that movie.
I did too. Yeah, that was a good. Sean Hobbs was a great spin-off there. But no, that's a good point, man. I can understand that. It's two big egos, they can't coincide. It's like a movable object meets an unstoppable force.
Yeah, it's mutual assured destruction or something like that.
Exactly, man. It's mad. It's exactly what it
According
is.
to Superman, when an immovable object meets what is it? An indestructible force.
Yeah.
They surrender.
Right. All-Star Superman #2. Yeah.
Although, didn't they do that? Didn't they do the race, or like, didn't they do that in the Snyder Cut, or am I misremembering that?
No, that's All-Star Superman.
Wasn't there? So they never done that in a live action, like let's race
No,
kind of thing?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I think that was I think that might have been in the Whedon cut of Justice League.
I never seen the Whedon cut, so I couldn't.
Because I remember Superman and the Flash about to race in a.
That was the Whedon cut. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I think I must have heard of that. Maybe I read an article about that then. But yeah, I've only seen the Snyder cut. I went ahead and skipped the Whedon cut.
The Superman Flash race I actually did like. That's one of the few good parts of it.
Well, the thing is, you got two classic creative minds on one project. That's not going to end with a successful cut.
Not really. Yeah, it's kind of, again, going back to it's not necessarily the ego thing, but it's like when you have, like you said, when the two powerful visions are colliding, it's kind of like that same idea in a sense.
And when they're opposing visions, it's kind of hard to reconcile them. I think it just watered down the film, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like if they'd given it to him from the start, I don't know, maybe Joss could have done something with it. Who knows?
It's possible. It's possible, but Joss Whedon has his own brand of humor.
Yeah.
And he tried inserting it into the movie, which it really did not work with the rest of the movie.
No, there's no Snyder and Whedon humor do not go together.
Snyder humor? What Snyder humor?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He has some funny moments, but yeah, I saw his new Army of the Dead movie.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what I was hoping for, maybe. I was kind of like hoping for Return to Dawn of the Dead, style.
But you need James Gunn writing the script for that.
Yeah, pretty much.
It needed to be something big and over the top, and I think when it did go that way, that was really when it was good.
Yes, it did have some good moments. I'll give it that. Overall, just some really weird stuff too.
Yeah.
Robot zombies.
Like I haven't seen it, but apparently from what I've heard, it does that thing that I really dislike, that it can't seem to decide what kind of zombies we're dealing with. Like, are they dumb, slow zombies? Are they running zombies? Are like smart? Are they like smart, like they can organize?
I think there's a pecking order. There are some alpha zombies that do all those things, and then you have like the regular soldier zombies that are your typical ones.
But none of it was explained.
There is inconsistency in their lore. I do agree there.
Yeah, not only inconsistency, but just none of it was explained. It was all like thrown at us, and then like, yeah, this is the world, and maybe we'll tell you about it in another movie, but we're not telling you about it now.
Yeah.
Like there was even like, if you catch it, there's robot zombies in the movie. Like some of the zombies have like electricity popping out of their head. It's weird.
I thought there was a little bit of hand waving in it with, basically, okay, so aliens showed up and now they're zombies. They just kind of hand waved that.
Yeah. They didn't even explain how the guy shows up.
Kind of
I think that happened just
maximum overdrive territory, right?
What's that?
Went into maximum overdrive territory, sounds like.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. But yeah, we'll see, see what comes up out of that. But I guess we should start wrapping up here. We have about 5-6 minutes here as we go. Any last stuff people want, any kind of projects we want to plug, or any stuff people wanted to bring up here on the podcast?
Well, I do want to talk about we had Omen #1, Gallows #1, White Druid #1, Blitz #1 come out this month, but next month you're gonna get the #2s.
Woohoo!
And we've looked at Guardians of Aleum #1. We've got like some of the artwork back for that. It looks amazing. Tazanawa Shika is always great, and he keeps getting better with every issue he's done. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with what he turns in for this. Is all I'll say.
Yeah, we got to look at the inks on Guardians of Aleum, and oh my gosh, like it's hard to believe. Like each time you look at one of Toshin's comics, you're like, man, this is awesome. How you can't imagine the next one he's going to do better. But literally every book he improves.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
he's a workhorse.
Really,
we're lucky to have him.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, no, it definitely does, and I've said it before, but I just love how it brings that sense of style to the universe where everything really feels like it's belongs in that universe. It's pretty cool. It's not something we usually see, so I do appreciate that for a shared universe to have a unified art style. I like that.
Yeah, after like we did Omen #1 and White Druid Michael Nero #1, and by that point we were like, okay, we don't ever want another artist drawing for us.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you get that team down, you want to hang on to that for sure. You don't want to lose that, man.
One cool thing about those comics coming out next month, though, is that'll lead to one of, to my knowledge, one of Wikid's trades.
Yes,
Omenverse Volume 1.
Yes, could potentially be the first trade that hits the stores. Even we have a Jack Irons trade, but the trade is still, I think, years off because of the crowdfunder. So yeah, actually, I think that would be our first trade paperback. So that'd be pretty cool.
Very awesome. Yeah, Cody does amazing work. So
yeah, no, definitely, yes. And but no, that'll be cool to see, and it'll just be nice for people to get the whole story in one sitting and be able to pick up the book and really dive into it. And so definitely check out our all the stuff we've got going on to see when that drops. And I'm gonna put this link up on the screen again. As I mentioned earlier in the show, the digitals are out right now. So if you want to pick up some of the first Omen comics, we got Omen #1, Gallowsman #1. We've got White Druid and Michael Nero #1, and of course Blitz #1 from Revelation Comics as well. And so they're all available. And the prints will be coming here very shortly. We're working on that right now, the print copies. So keep an eye out for that. And let's go ahead and do some plugs. Michael, let's start with you. What do you got going on? Where can people follow you and all that good stuff?
We're on Patreon at just Patreon /Omen Comics. There's also we're on Anchor. We do a podcast called Omen Revelations Podcast.
Nice. Anchor, is that like a podcast network?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a spot where you can go to pretty much any place that hosts podcasts from Anchor.
Huh. Interesting.
So you can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of them. It's actually on like 9 different sites.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Definitely, we'll check that out, guys. And then where can people follow you on Twitter?
Oh, at Comics Omen on Twitter, and at Revelation Comic for Revelation Comics.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And Matt, where can people follow you online and all your stuff that you get going on?
You can find me at Matt Trin on Twitter. And for now, that's just about it.
Excellent. Thank you. And Iba, I know you're not on Twitter these days, but
no, I decided that social media is Skynet, except for maybe Instagram, where I post stuff of works in progress that I'm doing. So yeah, maybe go follow me there. If I cannot, it's Instagram.
Very nice, man. I like that. And of course, you can follow us on Wikid Publishing at Twitter and if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a like and a subscribe because that always helps there. And we will be back in another 2 weeks for another episode of the podcast, and maybe have some supplemental streams in between. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that on our channel. And thank you again, all y'all, for joining with us. We really appreciate it, and I had a blast with you guys. So thanks for hanging out, guys, on this Wikid weekend. And we all see you on another episode. Take care, everyone.
Later.